Okay, I think I made that work this time. We'll find out in a second. I'm watching all these different things. I did this a couple times before, and I got some feedback that people liked it, so I'm going to do some more. So I'm making characters for Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. This is the book. It's currently out of print. He's going to kickstart it soon for another edition, but there is a player's book, so if you're interested in the system and you want to be a player anyways, you can get the player's book. Obviously, you can also pick up the PDF. We're going to make some characters. I've been running a campaign on Fridays, Friday evenings, so if you're interested in watching us play. But because I'm doing more and more of this, I wanted to have some pre-gens made because the system being more like first edition Dungeons and Dragons versus, let's say, BX, which I run a lot of, takes a little effort to make a character. You can't just like sit down and roll, and be done in 5 minutes. It's a little more involved. So I'm making a pre-gen of every one of the classes, and there's a lot of them in this because there's no multi-classing in this game. Basically, you just have lots of classes. So because of that, I'm going to make one of each one at first level, so I have them for people to use if we're going to play. So let me close this. I think I can close that. And let me just switch this up, guys. It should be good. Multi-classing in this game. There we go. That's me testing it. There we go. Good. All right, this way we're here. All right, so without further ado, let me show you my screen here. So we're going to use a couple of different tools. One thing that I've done, as I've mentioned before, if you guys have seen this, is I took the GM screen that I have and I made it my background picture. So when I do this, I have all my stats and those kinds of things to when I'm playing. I did find, though, doing these that this is kind of small for you guys to see, so I'm going to do it a little differently so you guys can see it better. But this is a great thing if you're going to run this game and you don't normally, you run from a computer. This is a great way to do it. I did this with my BX games too. Have the GM screen behind, and boom, there's all your stuff. We're going to use a couple of one or two free things to make this. Yeah, at least two are free. One is this thing here. We're not going to actually use this, but I'm going to show it to you guys because I have the book. But if you don't have the book, let's say you're a player and you want to make characters this way, and you don't have the Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea hardback or the player's book, and you're not going to get it yet for whatever reason, you don't want to pick up the PDF. This is free on their website, Northwind Adventures, and this has basically most of the mechanical stats and stuff. So you can see from the contents, you can look up your different ability score modifiers. You can look up, here's the combat matrices, here's rules on 2-weapon fighting and like the saving throws for items. So, there's enough stuff here to, actually what I was doing when I would go to cons before I got the PDF, because I actually had the hard book before I had the PDF, I would just print this out and take it because I didn't want to take anything big. Now I carry my iPad when I go. But anyways, I'm not going to use this for this because I'm going to use the actual book, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So we'll close that one. But that's free on their website, This is the PDF of the book that I just showed you. This is great, by the way. It's not only is it a beautiful book, just physically a beautiful book, but this PDF is really well organized, and we can see when we go into there because we're going to need all this. Like when we go into like our attributes, for instance, we're going to be able to click right on the strength tables and be able to see them. So we'll be able to check our modifiers and stuff pretty easily as we go through. So I'll do this so it's bigger for you guys because I realized the first time I did this that I didn't do it very big. So we're going to use this. And the other thing that we're going to use, let's put this off to the side for a second. Free character record. You get that on their website as well. I'm just, to make my life easier, because I think this may have been, this is form fillable, but a lot of times, especially at first level, the characters have a lot of the same kind of basic things. So I just keep using the same character sheet over and over again. I just keep changing the stuff. So you see this one's already filled in. This is a cleric that we made last time. And since these are cleric subclasses, I figure I'll use this as my starting point. And then the other thing we're going to use is this. This PDF is, I'll put a link to it in the description. If you're watching live, you're not going to have a link. You can go back to the other video I did like this. I believe it's on Smoldering Wizard, I think is his blog. But if you just look for this, Waves of the Borrowers, this is fantastic. So basically what this does, it allows you to use a 12-sided die and go through this thing. Oh, and by the way, if you watched some of the other ones, I bookmarked it because there wasn't bookmarks originally. So I did put bookmarks in, although you know what I didn't do is I didn't put a bookmark of the... Oh, that's fine. Okay. So what you do with this is you can, and again, with most of these things, you're going to take what you want from this and then not take other things, right? So for instance, let's say, I'm going to do everything random because they're all pre-gens for me. So it doesn't matter to me, what the, certain attributes are or whatever. So for me, I'm going to do the whole thing random. But if you, let's say, for instance, you played and you wanted to play a female Viking, you could just pick those things. But I'm going to roll all that randomly. And on that note, let's just start. The only thing I'm not going to roll randomly is the class because we know what we're making. We're making a monk and we're going to make a priest. So we'll start with our monk. We're going to come here. We're going to roll a d12. 1 through 6 is female. 7 through 12 is male. All right, so I got a 9. This is going to be male. So this monk is male. And then we're going to come down to our race table. And we're going to roll another d12. So in this game, the races aren't like dwarves and elves and stuff. The races are, common, Amazon, Atlantean, so they're basically all races of man. So I'm going to roll here. And I got 11. Oh, half-blood Pictish. Interesting. So we know that, right? I'm going to type that in. So we know it's a monk. So I'm going to cover my character sheet and type monk. And his race is going to be half. This really doesn't amount to much. If you're used to, let's say, playing Dungeons and Dragons, especially later editions, the races and stuff, it doesn't amount to much. You don't get bonuses for being different races for the most part. You might get a language or something, but for the most part, it's just more or less flavor. Okay, so we got that part. Now what we're going to do is, since we know that we are half-blood Pict, and we know we're male, I'm going to come over here, right, because I put my... If you just download their PDF, it's not bookmarked, so you'll come up here. But I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to look for half-blood Pict race kits. The first ones are females, so I'm going to scroll to the second page. And now, again, there's 12 options here. So I'm going to roll. And I got number 8. Okay, so this one right here. Tax Yield. Ooh, okay, well, that's good. So this is my half-blood Pict. And I'm going to come over. I mean, that's his name. I can put that in first. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it, but... okay, so Taxiel. And I'm going to scroll down to the page that has like the kind of the defining characteristics and stuff. Gender is going to be male. He's 17. There's already 17 in here, so I can leave that. He is 5'11". And he's going to weigh 165 pounds. So he's slim. Oh, I just did that wrong. 5'11". He's not 165 inches. Well, actually, yeah, no, he's not. All right, so his hair is black. Was I believe many of the half-blood Picts are. And his eyes are light hazel. Oh, very nice. Okay, light hazel eyes. He's speaking the common tongue and a Celtic dialect of Pictish. So he's getting that because of his race. So you do get that, which is useful. If you run into people that are a similar race than you, then you probably speak the same language. Okay, his secondary skill is as of a miner. So maybe his family were miners, or he worked a few years as a miner. That's a secondary skill. That comes in useful as you're playing. If somehow questions come up where a miner, right? Let's say that there's an avalanche or a cave-in in the cave and you're kind of lost and confused. Maybe if he was a miner, he would have some experience and be able to have a better chance of navigating out of the caves. So it's not a very strict rule to it, but it's something that you can use to kind of give yourself some flavor. Okay, that's all the info we need from here. So I'm going to come over now, and we said that, we know that he's a monk. So I'm going to click on monks. So again, there's 12 of them. So when you combine the different races, the different genders, and the different classes, you've got a lot of options here. Like you can make a lot of variety, even if you roll the same thing twice. Okay, I got a number 2, so I'm going to monk number 2. Let's see. So here's monks number 2's stats and stuff. Now, I stayed on that one page because I keep forgetting, is because they will give you a height and weight adjustment sometimes here. So I stayed there, and also they give you the distinguishing features. So he's bow-legged. So we got a bow-legged monk who the background is a miner. Interesting. Cool. And that's all we're gonna get from here from now. I can do the equipment now, but I like to do the top part first. Okay, so we're back at the top of the character record. And this mostly just comes down to just copying stuff over and then just checking it to make sure that we understand all of it. I'm going to put in his stats first here, and then I'll come in and do the modifier. It's just easier for me to do that. So his strength is 12, which is the same as the last character. His dex is 17. He's got 12 con. Let's see, 11 int, 16 wisdom. And final, oh, whoa. He's got a 4 charisma. This guy is not the leader of the party. Or if he is, you might be in trouble. Okay, so, okay, good, 4 charisma. Got to appreciate that. All right, so we're going to need this information here. And again, if you don't have the book, you can use the that ready reference sheet that's free on their website. So, but I have the book, so I'm going to use the book. And we're just going to go in here. So strength is 12. So you can see our bonuses and stuff here, right? So at 12, he's got a 0, 0, 2, and 6, and 4%. So his attack modifier is 0, so I'll leave that blank, 0. It's obviously the same because the other person had 12. 2 and 6, and 4%. Now, if certain classes, I'm going to just quickly look down here, get a bonus, if strength is one of their prime attributes. I don't see monks listed here. Oh, actually, I see it over here in dexterity, so that's good to know. So what this is going to mean is, we'll talk about this in a second. So a feat of strength, or extraordinary feat of strength as it's called, that's things like superheroic stuff, bending bars, breaking manacles, lifting a huge portcullis. Test of, so that'd be only a 4% chance because he's only kind of an average dude. But a test of strength is stuff like opening stuck doors, that kind of stuff. So that's your kind of standard. In fact, this would be equivalent to AD&D First Edition would be like bend bars, lift gates, right? But it could be used for other stuff. Dexterity of 17. Okay, so 17 dex is going to give him 2 on his attack modifier. So that'd be like missile attacks. He's going to get +1 on his defense. That's his armor class. He has a 4 in 6 test of dex. So that's really good. And he's got 24%. Now, if we look down here, extraordinary feat of dexterity, the probability of success of feats such as heroic stamp, such as escaping bonds, that'd be like being tied up by rope maybe, turning a somersault in the middle of combat, walking on a tightrope. But so it says here, if dexterity is a prime attribute, the character gains a +8 bonus. This advantage applies to, and it lists the class, and one of them is monk. So he's going to get 24%, and he's going to get an additional +8 to that. So he's actually 32%. So that's pretty good. He's very dexy, and he can do rush across tight ropes and stuff like that. With a 1 in 3 chance, which is pretty good compared to the average Joe. Okay, con 12. So he's got 12 con. 12 con is going to give him 0, 0, 75%, 2 and 6, 4. 0, 0, 75%, 2 and 6. Oh, so same as the last person. Con is only a special bonus for berserkers, so there's nothing there for them. Intelligence is 11. He gets no extra additional languages, and he has, there's information on magicians learning spells, but he's not a magician, so I'm not going to worry about that. Wisdom is, what was his wisdom? 16. So he's got +1. Now, I do not believe that monks cast spells in this system. So, I'm going to note this here, even though I don't think it's relevant, because, maybe we'll come back to it. So he is a +1 for willpower adjustment. That would be like if he's trying to like, I think charmed falls into their whole person, illusion, stuff like that. If he does have spell casting, he's got a 75% chance to learn the spells, and he'll get a bonus. Actually, it's the same as the last person. A bonus level 1 and a bonus level 2 spell if he gets that. But I don't think he does as a monk. Finally, charisma. All right, he's got a -2 as a reaction / loyalty. Like I said, he's not the leader of the party. He's only allowed to have a maximum of 2 henchmen. And if he gets to turn undead, which I do not believe that monks turn undead in this, he will have a -1 adjustment to his roll. So he's not so charismatic. You know, we can't have everything, right? Okay, good. Perfect. So I did that. Now we're going to come across, let's go back to our thing for a second. Is there anything else? I don't need anything else from here yet. This is base. Oh, let's look at his alignment. So I do not allow evil characters. So for me, the options here now, because I'm looking at the ones, is chaotic good, lawful good, and neutral. So there's 3 of them. So I'm just going to roll a d12 because it's, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. So he's got an 8. So that is going to be the second thing, which is lawful good. So we got, same as the last one. So he's a lawful good monk. He's not very charismatic, but he's lawful good. So now let's take a peek at this other stuff. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go to my monk class, because that's the next thing we're going to have to reference. So we have classes, and we have subclasses, right? So monk is a cleric subclass. So I'm going to click here. So your monk is a fighting monk, priest, warrior, etc. All right, so he's got some attribute requirements, which I'm sure it meets, or else I wouldn't have done it that way. Okay, so his prime attributes are dexterity and wisdom. Now, in this game, you get a bonus to your experience points earned if you have a 16 or better in your prime attributes. And I think he actually does. He has it in both of them, which is important. So I'm going to come down to here and note that now so I don't forget. Because sometimes I forget. It's like kind of weird. Yeah, 10% bonus. He gets it. So, yes. Bam. That's excellent. So this monk's going to level up faster. His hit die is a d8, which is the same as the cleric. He's not allowed to wear armor nor have a shield. These are the weapons that the monk would normally start kind of proficient in. If he uses a different weapon, he'll have a penalty. You can additionally learn more weapons as you go, so it's not like he's restricted, like these aren't forever. Okay, so let's take a quick look here. His saving throw modifier, transformation and avoidance, is going to be +2. So not death or sorcery. So let's get rid of these 2. So he's transformation. So the way saves work in this is that at your level, you will get a single save number. So it's 16 at first level for everybody, so I've never changed that. But when he rolls a save, it's equal to or better to succeed. When he rolls a save, let's say an avoidance saving throw, let's say that, I don't know, a rock's collapsed and rock wall's collapsing a trap. He's going to roll his d20 +2 and try to get 16 or better. But also because he's got a high dex, in many cases, he'll get that defense adjustment as well for those types of things. So that's pretty cool to know. So he's actually, pretty good there. All right, so let's go down here. So again, D8 is his hit die. This should give me his hit points. Yeah, it gives me his, I'm pointing out like you can see, it gives me his armor class 8 and hit points 8. Oh wow, that's good, he's got 8 hit points. Oftentimes on one-shots, because I mentioned at the beginning I'm making these for one-shots, I will just tell people to have maximum hit points at first level, but I'm still putting in whatever they give you in this chart just in case somebody wants, just in case we're starting a campaign and somebody wants a pre-gen. Okay, so I'm going to go down and just change his AC to 8 for now. We'll see if that changes. Sometimes the way they do it in this thing is not the way I like to do it, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a shield or armor because it said that he can't use it. All right, his fighting ability, which we can see right here, is 1 at first level. He's got an AC bonus of +1 because monks get that. It's a let's see, +1 monk. comma, and he's got +1 with his dex. Yep, so that gives him the 8 +1 dex. Your base AC is 10 in this, and it's descending, so low is better. Okay, so this is going to be interesting to know. I'll probably end up putting it under his weapons, maybe. We'll have to look. But before we do that, let's actually, since we're down to the weapons section, let's go to his equipment again. And we've got what he's starting with. But I'm going to look just for his weapons. He's going to start with a quarterstaff and a hooked throwing knife. And then that's all he's got for weapons. So I'm going to come up to his weapons. Let's get rid of this. Short spear. So I'm basically... I might put his empty hand attack there. I have to see how that works exactly. I'm just deleting these. Only because I just feel like it's easier for people to have all their combat stuff in one spot. It's technically like an ability, and there is a spot on here for abilities, but I find that, you know, you're just much better off having people's combat stuff all in one spot, as I said. Alright. So, he's got a staff. And then I think I'm going to do unarmed. I'm just going to write it there. Okay. And then he's got a hooked throwing knife. Okay, so we need some stats on these. Now, they are, of course, in the book. So let's go over here. Let's go to cryptage, and let's go to melee weapons. And we can see here that we've got our weapons. We're going to look for the weapon he has, which is a staff. Quarterstaff, I guess is what he has, right? It just says staff, but oh, no, I wrote staff. I wrote staff. The person that did the PDF did it correctly. It's a quarterstaff. Quarterstaff. Okay. Yeah, quarterstaff. All right. So if we look at a quarterstaff right here, its weapon class is 3. That becomes relevant when you engage in combat with somebody. Your weapon class is basically like their length. So if you have a longer weapon than somebody who comes charging at you, you often get to attack them first. Let's see. And it does a d6 damage. 1d6. We're going to have to come up and modify this because I know monks have some abilities and stuff, so we'll leave that for a second. The attack rate for melee weapons is pretty much always 1/1, so we'll leave that there. And again, we're going to have to probably modify this. Normally, you would use strength for a melee weapon, so he has no attack bonus here. But as I said, I think he has he might have some modifier because he's monk, but so we'll leave that blank for now. Unarmed, we saw that his unarmed... Well, I'll go back to that in a second. Let's do his other weapons first. Hooked throwing knife is a missile weapon. Hook throwing knife. Actually, there was something special with the staff. I'll go back to that in a second. Hook throwing knife is, you got our range here and our damage. So 30, 60, 90 and a d6. By the way, if you're like you're a player in any game, and especially these like older school games where you've got to there's lots of little things going on, take the time to put it on the character sheet when you're making the character. It saves so much time in game. Like, to have to look up a weapon's range in the middle of the game is so frustrating. So, a little tip there. Alright. This has 2 little doodads next to it. This little one here, that's like a return, and then like arrows. The return means, oh, ignores AC bonus provided by shield. So I'll put that in special. Ignores AC bonus of shield. Because it like wraps around it, I guess. In addition to that, strength damage adjustment applies, which is normally the case with thrown weapons. So I'm not going to write that there because that's something I just know. Attack rate. Let's take a peek here. I think that should be right here. By the way, there's a picture of it. Where's my attack rates? Alright, that might be in the combat section, so I'm not going to come bouncing around. For that, I'm just going to use here. Again, I have it on the back of my screen here, so I have a chart, which I guess you can see me pointing here if you don't know where I'm pointing. Over here. So it's not listed by itself, but it'll fall into other hurled weapons. So the attack rate is 1/2. Okay, easy as that. So, no, 1/2? 1/1. So one around. He only has one anyways, but, you know, just in case he ends up with more than one. All right, so the attack modifier, though, on a thrown weapon is your dex. So he's going to be +2 to hit with that thing. Okay, even though he doesn't get you use strength for the damage, but the attack modifier is +1. Okay, we're going to leave that for a second and just go down here. The combat matrix, again, is based on your fighting ability. And since the previous character already had a 1 fighting ability, I know this is the same. If we get to a character, like I think the priest might actually have 0, this will actually change. But essentially, when you're rolling your attack, let's say I'm going to throw the knife, I'm going to roll d20, add 2 to it. Let's say I get a 17 total. I'll look and I can say, oh, I hit armor class 2. So that's 2, anything 2 or greater I hit. So that's how that works. Okay, oh, there was a little thing about the staff that I forgot to look at, and I believe I know what it is, so I just want to make sure I note that. Okay, quarterstaff has little arrows like this. +1 AC bonus versus melee attacks, okay, when wielded with 2 hands. So I'm going to put that here. Must be wielded 2 hands, is what it says, right? Yeah, it must be wielded in 2 hands. All right, so that's a cool note, but I can tell you right now that people that are going to play this character will 100% forget that that is the case. So what I'm going to actually do is come up into here, and I'm going to go 8/7, because that's going to make them go when I say, hey, what's your armor class? They're going to be like, what? And then they'll see there's 2 different numbers, and they'll want to figure it out. So then I'll put it here, and I'll say staff. This way they remember that, you know, if they're doing their martial arts or whatever, and they're not using the staff, they won't get that, you know. And it's only against melee attacks, so I'm only putting it here. Okay, cool. Let's go down here. Okay, abilities. So now let's go to the monk again, and let's take a peek at their abilities. So you see this thing here, which I had noticed, damage bonus +1. I believe this is for regular melee attacks as well, and we're going to find out right now. So let's look at the different skills of a monk. Accurate strike. Precise melee weapons or empty hands deliver bonus damage that increases every 3 levels. Okay, so this is all my melee weapons and my open hand damage is going to be +1 because of this skill. So I'll list it here. Accurate strike. +1. +1 damage. Melee. I'm sorry, melee. People will notice the same. Okay. Oh, and you know, before I forget, let me go up here. So that means my unarmed strike, which remember we saw it up here, is a D4 damage. So now I'm going to list that in. D4. D4. And I get a damage bonus of +1 because with that, and I also get it on my my other melee weapon. Now I left this blank because I thought it might have been for attack too, but it's not. So no attack bonus, but I do get a bonus on the damage. So I'm using my staff. I'm D6 +1 damage. Cool. All right, good. Block missile. Blah blah. They can, you know, there's all kinds of rules to it. Whatever. I mean, clearly not that. Must drop anything he held. So they need to make an avoidance save. Block missile. avoidance save, colon, one time per round per level. Yep. Cellular adjustment. So the cellular adjustment, once per day, they can basically heal themselves. 2 hit points per level. Let's see. So we're going to go heal 2 hit points per level, 1 time per day. It says it goes into a fancy way of saying you can do it on yourself or somebody else. I'm just going to write that because I think that people would understand that. 1 time per week, cure disease. So that's pretty useful. Kind of like a paladin. In fact, it even says like a paladin. I can type today. All right. Controlled fall. Let's see. For every level of experience, can fall 10 feet and sustain no damage. So I'm just going to say 10 feet per level. Must be near wall, which obviously I know. Yeah. Okay. Defensive ability, which is basically just giving them their AC bonus. I'm not going to write that because it's already factored in. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you know what happened here, and I just realized this. This is why it's good to go through these things. The defensive ability of the monk does not stack with dexterity. You take whichever one is better, right? So when they made this character, and they made it 8, they actually were considering the staff all along. However, the staff doesn't give a missile bonus, so I'm going to change that to 9. And here I'm actually going to change this to 8/9 or 9/8. Yeah, no, 8/9. This way, no, sorry, 9/8. So it's 9 without the staff, 8 with it. So I'm just going to go, I'm going to remove the dex from here. So if somebody looks at this, then they're going to say, okay, why is his dex only +1 here or +2? And then you can read this monk or staff. So obviously if you don't have the staff, then you're only armor class 9. Oh, we got to look at this unskilled weapon thing too. I'll look at that in a second. Let me finish this first. I'll go back up there. Okay, ooh, that's good to know. All right. One of the reasons why I like to make pre-gens like this is because it allows me as a GM to learn the different classes too, you know? All right, here we go. Detect secret doors. That's pretty straightforward. I cannot type today. They've got a 3 and 6 chance. Empty hand. Master of unarmed attack. +1 bonus on attack rolls with the empty hand. Weapon-like damage, see chart, which is what I'm looking at right now. They can use Cestus for additional damage bonus. Since he doesn't have one, I'm not going to bother writing that down. Again, because this is a pre-gen, and they're probably not going to have a chance to buy something extra. At 5th level, again, it changes. Okay, so on a natural 19 to 20, assuming it hits, a stunning blow is delivered. Okay, so that's the only one that's good. Okay, so the only one that's mechanically affecting me up here is I'm going to have an attack modifier of +1. We learned that. And again, we have the +1 for the other ability there. It doesn't show an attack rate. I'm just going to assume it's 1/1, since it doesn't show it going up, and that's the normal attack rate. And weapon class for open hand or is 0. So I already know that. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to put a note here, because again, I'm going to treat this like a weapon. Roll of, that would be natural. Or can it be any roll? Yeah, natural 19. 19 or 20. Stunning blow. Okay, that's all I'm going to write there because I don't have to write everything twice. And then down here, I'll write the whole thing. Stunning blow. Oops. Let's see if this works. Sometimes when I copy and paste on the sheet, that worked okay. Okay, they get an avoidance save, I guess. So it's small and medium creatures. So you can't do it to a dragon, if there were dragons in this. And they get a transformation saving throw. Or stunned for 2d4 rounds. That's pretty darn good. Doesn't work against undead, slimes. I mean, that's stuff that, you know, most people that play regularly know that, and I know that. So since this is going to be my game, I'm not going to bother writing all that down. Run. If unarmored and unencumbered, able to achieve a movement rate of 50. At 7th level goes to, okay, so that's good. So normally, base movement is 40. So, it's funny, it calls out unarmored, but they can't wear armor, so. I mean, I guess they could wear armor, they're just not proficient. If they put it on for like a disguise or something, maybe. Unencumbered. That's right. The word encumbered is always weird. I feel like I never spell it right. So actually his movement goes up to 50. So yeah, I mean, he's not very charismatic, but he can move. Okay. Let's see. Superior Willpower. +2 saving throw versus any sorcery that would influence the monk's mind. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, oh, other saving throw modifiers. +2 versus sorcery. Let's write source, so I have no space. Oh, over. That. Let me see if I'm reading right. Yeah, that would influence the mind. There we go. I'm gonna write additional +2 because they get one for the willpower. Actually, I'll just write stacks with will. Oh, don't have a spacer. Oh no, it got really small when I did that. Oh, PDF. We'll try that again. We'll try that one more time. +2 versus mind affecting sorcery. Alright, that's fine. That's good enough. Speak with nature they get, but not until level 4. Simulate death they get at 5. And again, this is a first level character. I'm not worried about it. Monastery, they can start at level 9. They live longer at level 11. Oh, they get some thief abilities. Okay, I guess that's pretty classic. So they got climb. They've got the discern noise. They've got hide. They've got move silent. Guess that makes sense for a monk, right? And I think that's it. Yep, because I'm going to go down to priest. Alrighty. So these are of a thief of equal level. So I'm going to go over to my thief. Classes. Thief. And, okay. So the way that thief skills work in this is they're on a d12. Some of them are affected by high attributes. The attribute has to be, I believe, 16. Yeah, 16 or better. They'll get a bonus of +1. So climb, and they have a 17 deck, so they'll get the bonus on the deck. So it's 8 out of 12 for first level, but they will be 9 out of 12. That's like pretty good climb skill there. Discern noise is modified by wisdom when their wisdom is also high, so they'll have 5 out of 12. Hide is modified by dex, and they'll get that as well. So that's 6 out of 12. And move silent is also a dexterity score, and that will be 6 out of 12 as well. So they basically had a 50-50 chance on hiding in shadows, moving silently, almost 50-50 on discerning noise, and a very, very good climb chance. So a couple of things that we got to wrap up here for sure. One is we need to go to our weapon, our combat section. Weapon skill, actually, is what it's called. And we need to check this, okay? Okay, so it's the same as a cleric. Attack penalty. That is if you're using a weapon you're not skilled in. So a weapon that you weren't trained in, you'll get a -2 if you're a monk. And that was the same as cleric, so I lifted that there. That's good. Let me just look at this top part, and we'll just work our way down the sheet. We have their name. We have their alignment, level, class, hit points, saving throws. All those modifiers are factored in. The weapons are, he's got no modifier on the staff, so that's fine. Unarmed. Hook throwing knife is pretty good. That +1 damage is only from melee, right? And unarmed, so that we don't worry about that there. This is fine. We just did all that. They do not turn undead, so I'll remove that. I have a feeling the priest might be closer to the cleric than the monk, so instead of copying the sheet, I might go back to the cleric sheet again. Oh, you know what I did here? Womp womp. I didn't duplicate it first. So I'm going to go see if I can save my cleric. Revert to last opened. Revert. I got so excited that I screwed it up there. Alright, so let's close that. This is my monk. So let's go back here. This is the monk character sheet. Ooh, that would have been a bummer. Glad I noticed that. Because, you know, I'm using preview in a Mac, and as you make changes, it just automatically saves it. So, yeah. So it's not like I wasn't sure if I'd be able to revert back, but I guess it hasn't been that long since I opened it. Anyways, back to this. All right, so no, they don't cast spells, so I'll delete that. And again, these are pre-gens for one-shots too, so I don't want to put a lot of information on there that they don't need. So I'm going to come back up to this wisdom thing and delete this too, because again, they don't need it. So let's get rid of that. Okay. Now we'll come back down, so they don't have any of that. Get rid of that there. All right, so they don't have spells, so I'll get rid of those. If I was playing in like if I was printing these out, like when I go to play, when I run games like Gen Con or whatever, if possible, like if there's a whole set of sheets, like if there's only 2 of these pages they actually need, but I don't think that's actually the case. No, because they need that because there's the class abilities on it. Okay, yeah. So if there was a way I could print less paper, I would do it, but I don't think. I think in the end, this is just going to be printed and be almost useless. I mean, I might just not waste the ink. Because again, if it's a one-shot, it doesn't matter. They get the extra 10% experience points. Well, whatever. All right, so this is our guy. We factored all this in, our little bow-legged monk miner. He's pretty tall. Let's come over here and, well, I guess this is probably average height. Let's finish him up. So we're going back here. Remember, he was monk 2. Let's put his equipment in. He doesn't have any armor, so I'll get rid of that. Actually, I'll do it this way. He has a quarterstaff. This is a very nice weapon. He doesn't have studded armor. He does have a hook throwing knife, though. Ah, fucking right. There we go. Man, okay. Okay, no short spear. Okay, so now we're into his equipment. So I'm going to just delete this. A lot of these pre-gens start with like, similar stuff, so I'm just going to go through and just make sure. So he's got a backpack, iron rations 1 week, so that's the same. Wineskin, full. Winter blanket, almost everybody has that stuff. Bandages, got it. Sack small, got it. Torches ×3. And then he's got 2 gold pieces. So get rid of writing stick. I will get rid of prayer beads. I will get rid of holy symbol. I'm going to come up here to his encumbrance. He is 22.5 pounds. I am now going to look. Again, I'm just going to use my DM sheet. It's easier for me. He's got 12 strength. So I'm going to look down in my encumbrance area down here. With a 12 strength, he will be unencumbered until he reaches 60 pounds. No, I'm sorry, 50 pounds. So just like the previous cleric. So as long as he stays under 50, he's going to be able to move 50, which is super fast. He has 2 gold pieces, and I never like to start people off with 2 gold pieces. I feel like that's weird to have like all your wealth and you have it in 2 coins. So there are 50 copper to a gold and 10 silver. So I'm giving him 50 copper and 10 silver, which is the equivalent of 2 gold pieces, but in a more realistic way that you would carry it around. All right, quickly looking through this to make sure it looks good, but I think our monk is basically done. Experience, blah, blah. That's all stuff you fill out as you play. Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to save it. And like I said, I think the priest, I'm going to look at the class quickly. I think the priest class is more like the cleric as far as their abilities than the monk. Like, I don't think it has all those monk abilities. So just to make my life easier, I'm just going to jump to the priest and just look at their abilities before I get too crazy here. Read scrolls, scribe scrolls, sorcery, turn undead. Yeah, they're basically like, they're more like a cleric. They're like a more spellcasty cleric. So because of that, I'm just going to open back up that cleric again. All right. And this time I'm going to duplicate it first. And we'll close this. And let's do our priest. So this is the priest. Cool. All right. Alrighty. So same process. We're going to grab our sheet here. I'm going to go right up to the top. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to roll my D12. 1 through 6 female, 7 through 12 male. I got a 3, so this monk is female. And we're going to go down to our race. And I'm going to roll randomly again. I mean, you can pick if you want. She's Pictish, so she's a female Pict. So Pict. Pictish. She's level 1. I don't know about that yet. Oh, she's a monk. She's a priest. Or I guess maybe priestess if you want to. I'm just going to write priest because that's the name of the classes. Let's make this bigger so you guys can see it. There we go. So she's a Pictish priest. Let's see. Now I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to find Pictish race kits, female, and roll a d12. Number 1. She is Pictish female number 1. Name Verica. Verica the priest. Nice. All right, we'll go down again to her the distinguishing features or whatever. She's female, as we've already decided. She is 18. She is 5 foot even, 130 pounds. Her hair is light red orange. Wow. Well, no space for that. Light red orange. No, of course not. light red orange, and she has dark green eyes. Oh wow, striking. Okay. She speaks Celtic with the Pictish dialect, just like the monk did. So if they end up in the same party together, they can, talk behind her ways back. Her background was a pack handler before she found religion, I guess, or maybe she was handling the packs of the traveling, the traveling religious sect that she was part of. Cool. All right, so we got her there. All right, that's all we need right there, right? And remember, then we're going to go down to priest, and we're going to roll on the priest class kit. And she got number 3. She is priest number 3. So here's all of her stuff. There is, once again, no height weight adjustment, so I can leave that the way it is. No additional languages. Okay. We got our spells here. Oh, distinguishing feature. Distinguishing features. Distinguish features. Okay, come on. That's awesome. She has her distinguishing feature is that she has distinguished features. Okay. Fantastic. All right, now let's go up and get her stats and everything. Okay, so she's got 9 strength. Her dexterity is 13. Her con is also 13. Nice. Int is 7. So, not particularly learned. She got 14 wisdom and 14 charisma. So she's a leader or maybe attractive. She's got 3 hit points to start with. And they're listing her armor class at 9, and I'm assuming that's because she probably gets a dex bonus. We'll find out in a second. So I'm going to change these to 9. This is all info that we know right now. Actually, no, it's probably from the staff. Okay, so now that we have the stats in, before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to quickly jump back to the book. I always do it this way, even though they're all in preview. We'll jump back to the book and go to the stats, make sure I get these all in here. She has a 9 strength, so 0, 0, 2, and 6, 4%, which I think is the same as a 12 strength was. Yep. She's got a 13 dex, which is going to give me +1, 0, 3, and 6, 8%. So +1, so she doesn't get it for so that's that AC bonus is with her staff. She's pretty dexy, but she's not that dexy, I guess. Not like that monk. Okay, and again, I'm just going to look over here to make sure. I don't think for these ones, but make sure the priest is not listed here as getting any additional bonus. Nope. Okay, so those stay the same. Constitution, we remember from the last time only berserkers get a bonus there. So as far as the percentage, so like an extraordinary feat of con. This thing like swimming for several hours, it lists as surviving malnourishment, staying up for extended periods of time. That's what that's for. All right, 13 con. 13 con gives her an extra hit point though. That's always useful. Okay, so no bonus on poison saves, but she does have an 80% of trauma survival. So a little better than the previous characters. And she's got 3 and 6, and then 8% here. So she's a little bit more conny. I don't know if that's really the right way to say it. She's got a stronger constitution, hardier constitution than the last character. Let's see, intelligence 7. No, well at least she's not illiterate. 6 would be illiterate, so she's basically just zeros. Her wisdom is 14. So this may be. I don't want to say it's an issue, but you definitely want a higher wisdom if you can as a cleric. So with the 14 wisdom, she's got no willpower adjustment, which is not the end of the world, I suppose. But if you look, her chance to learn new spells is only 65%, as opposed to 75 for the last, would have been the last character. And I think a priest would get bonus spells here. Again, I'm just going to list them. I'm pretty sure they do. The way this works is, I mean, she only gets one level 1 anyways. But if you did, like the previous character, get a level 1 and a level 2, clearly you don't get the level 2 spell until you can actually cast level 2 spells. So she'll get one bonus spell. That's good. And she's charismatic. Let's see. 14 charisma is pretty darn good. She gets a +1 with any reactions. She's got 6 maximum henchmen, which is good. Yeah. No bonus to turning undead, unfortunately, which probably would have been useful for a priest, but not with a 14 charisma. All right, good. That's her ability scores. Again, like I said, for everybody's base save is 16. Now let's go look at the priest subclass. And we can see that their prime attributes are wisdom and charisma, both of which are her 2 highest attributes. Unfortunately, neither one is 16, so she will not get the bonus experience points. Her hit die is a D4, so I'll change this to a D4, because again, sometimes I allow people to start with maximum hit points, so I want them to know what their hit die is. Plus when you heal, like when you heal at night and stuff, you get your hit die back. It's a D4, so that's definitely something you want to know. Wisdom, charisma. They cannot wear armor or use a shield, so much like the monk. And again, their favorite weapons are only dagger, dart, quarterstaff, sling whip. This is not a combat character. Saving throw modifiers: death +2, sorcery +2. So death we get same as the cleric. Awesome. Okay. Come over here. See, as I mentioned earlier, I thought so. The fighting ability of a priest is 0 at first level. So we're gonna have to modify their attack chart. Their turning ability is 1 and their casting ability is 1. So just while I'm in this chart, I'm just going to fill that in. Just like the cleric, turning ability 1, casting ability. This, by the way, is based on the turning undead is based on the turning level. Although the other cleric had a bonus, so I think we'll go look at it. But I think these are going to be lower. Actually, I'll do it right now while I'm sitting here because it's on my sheet here. So at a what do you call it? At a turning level, a turning ability of 1. No, actually, I guess I didn't have a bonus. 0 should be 10 and 12, 7 and 12, 4 and 12, 1 and 12. Okay, yeah, that's right. Casting ability is 1. While I'm here, yeah, I thought so. Priests get 2 first level spells on first level. So that's, they're a weaker, they can't fight like the cleric can, but they get more spells. So they're actually getting an extra first level spell, and this character, because of her bonus wisdom, gets an extra one. So she's actually going to be able to cast 3 spells a day on first level. That's pretty good. Chance to learn a new spell is 65. That all stays the same. Okay, good. Leave that. Come back up here. Just want to make sure I'm getting everything as I'm here. All right, so let's just do a quick look at her weapons. Okay, well, we know she's not wearing any armor. And we know she doesn't get a bonus to her defense for her dex. So that 9 armor class is +1 for the staff, right? We learned that from the monk. Let's see. Get rid of this. Come on. So her armor class is 9. Actually, it's 10 against missiles because the staff only gives a bonus to melee. I'll deal with this in a second. Untrained weapon. I'm sure it's worse for the priest. Actually, let's just do it all at once while we're going down here. Let me jump down. Again, I'm going to... This is why I use the PDF for this. If I'm doing a lot of them, as opposed to sitting at a table. My first handful I made, like, on paper. Well, first of all, I'm playing online because of COVID and everything. But yeah, it's like you're doing a little bit of flipping when you're making the character. Let's see. Sorry. So where was I? I started talking and I lost my track. Oh, we want the weapon. It should be under weapon skill. Okay. Oh, there's the attack rate. Weapon skill. Priest. Yeah, priest is -4 when they're using a weapon that they're not trained in, and they only are trained in a handful of weapons. So, yeah, if you're a priest, you should be trying to stay out of combat probably. Which I guess makes sense. I think in a lot of games, people will make like a cleric, and they will make that cleric like stay back and heal and stuff. In this game, the cleric's a little bit tougher. They can really kick some butt actually. Physically. And the priest is more like your stay back and heal if you want to play that kind of character. All right. So here we are. We're at priest 3. Let me look at her weapons. Quarterstaff. Oh, wow. Oh, actually, she has all the weapons. She's not messing around. For somebody who's not great at combat, she's got it all. So she's got a quarterstaff. Let's see. I'll fill out the stuff after. She's got a whip. That's nice. She's got a dagger. And of course, a dagger is also a missile weapon, or can be used as a missile weapon. So whenever you have a weapon that can be used as both, I always just list it both times. It just makes it easier. And she has darts. So that's pretty good. Yeah, she's like totally set for weapons there. She's not messing around. All right, so let's go in here and let's put down the information about her weapons. Again, I'm going to go to my book, and I'm going to come to, we'll do the melee weapons first. So melee weapon, quarterstaff is weapon class 3. It does a d6 damage. Weapon class 3. 101 is the normal attack rate, so that's what's going to be. It does a d6. She has no strength bonus, so she's not getting any or penalty, so she's a straight up d6 damage. And remember that we've learned from the monk that +1 AC +1 melee AC two-handed. So clearly she has to have it, in two-handed to do that. Let's see, the whip. A whip is weapon class 5, nice and long, does a d2 damage. Because again, the weapon class comes in to play when somebody's moving up on you, and if you have a longer weapon, you generally get to go first, right? So what will happen is, let's say somebody had a staff, because I think it's 2 classes that's different. So if somebody was charging forward with their staff and you had a whip, even if they won initiative, you would get to go first because you have the whip, which is basically reach. Which I'm surprised doesn't list that there. I'll have to look up the whip in a second. It doesn't have a little doodad next to it, maybe because it's more complicated than that. Okay, dagger. Dagger is weapon class of 1, small. And again, these are always going to be 1/1 for your general, priests and stuff. The fighters get bonuses. Let's see, dagger. It does a d4. Dagger down here, we're going to have the range for it. We got 10, 20, 30. She's got a dex bonus, so she get +1, and the dagger does a d4. It would do strength bonus to damage, but of course there's no strength bonus. I'm going to do the attack rate in a second, because I know the darts are probably something special. Darts are a missile weapon. Dart's going to get 10, 15, 30, 45 for a range, and a d3 damage. 15, 30/45. +1 again because of the dex, and does a d3. So slightly less damage, but slightly more range. Now we're going to look at our attack rates. So a dagger thrown will do, you can throw 3, 2. She only has 1 dagger, so it's not really that relevant right now. So every 2 rounds, she can throw 3 daggers. You do 1 and then 2. Is that the way it works? Darts, you can actually throw 2 every single round. So 3, 2, and then 2, 1. So even though she can throw her dagger, that would probably be, in this situation, I think that would be not her first choice, right? Because with the darts, not only do they have a longer range, so they're going to have less penalty or more bonuses or whatever when throwing it, at the same more or less the same distances, you're going to be able to throw two of them. It does a slightly less damage, but you get a bit more chances to hit. So I think it makes sense to throw 2 darts than it does to at least, until she runs out. Okay, so she got no attack modifiers there. There's nothing else special there. Did the darts have anything? I don't think any other weapon here had something special next to them. Do the darts have anything special? Yeah, they did. Darts have the little devil arrow thing. Strike damage. We know about that. All right, let's take a look at the whip. Because I know the whip does something special. It has to. It's whip. Whip. 12 to 15 blade lines. Thicker and handle. Yeah, we know what a whip is. Okay. So a skilled wielder can entangle a small or medium opponent. The attack roll must exceed the acquired score by 5 or more. Okay. So this is fairly complex. I mean, it's not complex, but it's fairly complex to write all that in that one little area. So what I always would do here, I'm just going to see what page it's on. 119. And I'm just going to say, next to the whip, I'm going to say, can entangle page 119. That way, if we need to look it up, if somebody's like, I want to try to entangle them with a whip, then I can quickly find it. And I'm done. Everything else, I'm going to leave. There's nothing special there. Before we forget, let me go ahead and look at the attack. The attack matrices, which I think are going to probably be under combat. Let's go back here. Adventures in combat. Adventure, combat actions. Let's go into combat. There we go. All right, so here's our attack matrix. What you do here is you just look fighting ability versus armor class. That's pretty much, it's a chart, super simple. Their fighting ability is 0. So, and of course it goes up 1 step each time. So it's going to start at 11, where if you notice the fighting ability of 1, which is what's the other character, we started at 10. So I know we got to modify by 1. So I'm just going to go in here and just go, like this should be 11. And then this should be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That 1 point can make a difference, so. Okay, so there you go. I mean, we made that modification. That's what the fighting ability is 0. When the priest levels up, I think to level 3, I think it was, that will jump to 1. So, classes that are fighting classes, their fighting ability goes up every level. That's basically how that works. And classes that are spellcasting classes, their casting ability goes up every level. That's basically how that works. Okay, so that's that. We got everything on this page so far. I think we already handled this, but I'll come back and look at it again in a second. Let's look at the class abilities of the priest. Close this because I like things to look neat. So we're going to go priest, and let's take a peek at what they can do. This is where this is where you get it, right? It's like, if you're looking at them just martially, they're probably looking not so great right now. But this priest is going to have some special abilities that are going to, make them, useful in play. So read scrolls, scribe scrolls, sorcery, and turn undead are all the same as the cleric. So I think most people that are playing these kind of games understand what that is. So, and I can explain it easy enough, so I don't need to actually write anything there except that. But then we look over here. Okay, they haven't got that till 9th level. Oh, wow. So So at 9th level, they can imprison demons and other worldly beings. Holy guacamole. Well, you definitely got to wait for it, I guess. Man, I'll tell you what. I guess the extra spell at first level is the other trade-off. I'm looking at Priest right now, and I'm thinking that Cleric is probably... Let me see if their sorcery is any different. They get 1 extra spell for casting, but they also know 1 extra spell. Okay, so that's it. So typically a Cleric, I think, starts with 3 spells, and they get 3 more per level. A Priest starts with 4 and gets 4 a level. So they're definitely going to have more spells. Let's see if their undead is any different. No. It's basically the same. So I got to say that the Cleric is probably overall, your general Cleric, unless you really want to be spellcasty, is going to probably be a little more powerful character. But again, it's flavor too. Being a Priest is different than being a Cleric. 0. And this is pretty amazing. Prison Demons. And it looks like that's... Oh, hold on. Here's where the meat of it comes in. There's an optional page down here. Priest abilities by deity. Optional. Devotee has a singular faith and known to develop supplementary sorcerer abilities. Okay, this is interesting. I think that if I was going to do this, right, I would want to probably do this because this is... Otherwise, the Priest is not going to be... is not going to have the full advantage of being a Priest. And this doesn't look like it's OP. They get something at 1st level and at 12th level. So it's based on alignments. Let's go back to our Priest number 3. Okay. Again, I don't allow evil. So we're looking at 2 possible alignments. We'll roll. I got 5, which is the bottom half. So CG or Chaotic Good. So she's Chaotic Good. So, I don't often, if I'm making a religious class, I don't necessarily pick their god. But I think I'm going to want to do it here because I feel like that's going to make it, this is going to make this character more viable. Or, more fun to play, I think. Especially for a one-shot where you're not going to have a lot of chance to develop them further. Necessarily. Okay, so Chaotic. Good or evil. Good or evil. Good or evil. Good or evil, good or evil. So let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please be an even number. 7. Of course there's 7. Of course there's 7 of them. Oh, let me get it. Let me get an 8-sided die. Where's my dice? I just had them a second ago. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to let the fates decide. Echo. Pick a number between 1 and 7.
Your random number between 1 and 7 is 2.
2. So the second of the Chaotics. Azathoth. Ah, yes. Most priests of Azathoth are insane. +2 saving throw bonus versus mind-affecting sorcery. Okay, I'm the kind of GM that likes that. So, hell yeah. Boom, saving throw modifier. +2 versus mind sorcery. Not mid sorcery, but mind sorcery. Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a little speechless for a second there, but hey, you know what? We'll make that decision. We're doing it. Okay, well, they're insane. So, we got to note that. I mean, it says most, but, I'll say mildly. And, conveniently, well, let me make sure I'm not missing anything else. Yep, that's the end of the priest. I like that. I believe there is actually an insanity chart here. It is it's under combat, I think. It's under, other damage or something like that. Special damage. Here we go. Madness. All right. Hey, look. A 20-sided chart. Echo. Pick a number between 1 and 20.
Your random number between 1 and 20 is 8.
8. Okay. Lunacy. Oh, yeah. Oh, can't do that, I suppose. You gotta type it in. Okay, so I'm not going to write, because it says violent or whatever, I'm not going to put that in. I don't want a player to take this character and start getting crazy with it. I mean, not literally. So I'm going to say during the full moon, comma, acts irrational. There, that leaves it vaguely enough. There's not really any place to write this. I don't. Oh, actually, there is. Down here, there is actually a spot for religion, and I need to make sure that I go back here and put the proper god in. So again, what I would probably do, I'm not going to do this now because again, it'll probably be a local one-shot that I'm doing. But if I take these characters to convention, then I will actually go to the part of the book that lists that god, and I'll print it out so that the character knows, you know, what the god's about, like how to play it. You know, because you don't want to just be like, you're a worshiper of whatever, and they have no idea what any of that means. You know, so you need to give them that information. But I don't think I need to worry about it right this second. I am curious myself, though. As the deity is chaos associated with confusion, entropy, infinity, insatiable hunger, madness, vibration, ceaseless beating drums, and haunting flutes. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool. You know, I mean, certain players would love to play that up, so that's actually going to be kind of nice. All right. Let's leave this for a second. Let's go back to our sheet and make sure that we, I got all over the place there for a second there. All right, so those are all the abilities. I'm going to come down here now. We know that they can do 3 spells a day. They can obviously choose whichever ones they want when the time comes. But these are the spells they're going to start with. We're doing priest number 3. So she's got, I'll make sure none of these are the same. Bless, create water, light, perceive, disguise. Nope, they're all different. So bless. Create water. Light, which is always useful. Kind of like the idea of the perceived disguise, because you know you've got this this idea, like it's definitely a trope where like the people that aren't like either like children or animals or sometimes people that are mildly kind of insane kind of can know when somebody's up to something that like your average person doesn't. Like it's almost like they can see something they can't. So I kind of like that. Let's just quickly look at these spells and see if we want to make any notes. So we've got a sorcery section here. It's all alphabetical. So I'm just going to go bless under the B's clearly. Bless. Allies within 25 feet. Get +1 to morale. +1 bonus saving throw and fear. That's a lot to write. So I'm just going to put, usually if it's a lot, and again, if it's at a convention, I will actually just print the spells. I make a little spell book for them. But if it's more than a quick thing I can write down, I just write the page. Page 1 for 7. +1 bonus to allies. That's enough. to figure out. Create water. Usually when I'm writing these things down, I mean, the main reason why I write them down is things like, you can see in the other one, like cure like wounds. Everybody's always like, is it a D6 in this one? Is it a D? So, you know, sorcerer produces 3 gallons of water per caster level. That's small enough to write. And again, something easy enough to write up. So somebody doesn't see it and then just be like, oh, I make it rain, you know. I'm just going to write, well, actually, this is per caster level, not casting ability, which is actually interesting. Oh, no, per CA level, so I am doing that, per CA. I did think that was weird that it didn't say that, actually. I said it wrong. That CA is super important because, again, not all classes, like, this is definitely going to be an advantage of the priest over, like, some other spellcasters that don't progress in the CA as fast. Light is, as you would probably imagine, so I'm not going to worry too much about it, but I'm going to write 30-foot sphere. Lasts 6 turns. Perfect. And perceived disguise, I mean, clearly you can see through disguises, but let's just look to see if there's anything I need to note. Allows the cast to determine if one creature pretends to be something it is not, whether or not via sorcery or artifice. It will not reveal what they actually are. It will not detect the alignment, but merely that they're not what they're pretending to be. Oh, interesting. The target of this subtle spell is almost always unaware that the sorcery is at work. It is allowed a sorcery saving throw if it makes it save the defect disguise will be enhanced. Okay, so that's actually a good question, right? Because sometimes when you're casting a spell, you know, like this, and you want to know if somebody is disguised, it's like you don't want this to make it like, all right, I cast this, and then the GM or somebody's like, well, I mean, they see you casting a spell at them, so this is a subtle spell that they don't realize. That's actually good to know. And I'll write that subtle. Okay, good, very, very good. Moving down. I think we're almost done with her, so let's grab her equipment. All right. I still like her distinguishing feature is that she has distinguished features. Okay, she's got no armor, so I'll write the first stuff here. She's got a quarterstaff. Nope, not a quarterstaff. Okay, quarterstaff, whip. Dagger. It's always useful. And she's got 5 darts. 5 times darts. So she's definitely going to want to pick those up. And, you know, again, a lot of times they repeat the same stuff, so I'm just going to go over through quickly. Backpack, iron rations, wineskin, winter blanket, bandages. So backpack, iron rations, wineskin, winter blanket, bandages, small sack. Okay, and she's additionally got a tinderbox. Okay. Tinderbox. She does not have torches, but she does have a lantern. A hooded lamp. Lantern hooded, sorry, lantern hooded. Hooded lantern. It says lamp oil, 1 flask. Obviously, that's in the lantern, so I'm just going to write full. Yeah. I guess they don't have to have it in the lantern, but you know, just, you know, I'm going to say it's there. Holy symbol, wooden. Prayer beads, wooden. So we'll change this. Writing stick. Oh, vial of holy water. That can be useful. And it looks like, oh, incendiary oil. All right, they're not messing around. Just one flask of that. Okay, 30.5 pounds is their weight. Let's check their encumbrance. They have a 9 strength, right? Yep. Encumbrance for a 9, the same as a 12, 50 pounds. So she'll be encumbered at 50, but she's only got 33.5 pounds, so she's good. I mean, somebody who can't wear armor, you know, that's always useful. Same thing, 2 gold pieces. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to give 50 copper and 10 silver, which is the equivalent. Okay, let's take a peek. Start at the top and just make sure we have everything down. She is a priest, a Pictish priest at that. Level 1, chaotic good. Got hit points down. We got the saving throws. She's a little crazy. Her name is Verica. I mean, this is like Lovecraftian Howard type stuff, so a priest being a little mad is, yeah, I think that's good. 0 fighting ability, so that's less than ideal. We got -4 if they use a weapon they're not trained in. Her armor class is 9 with the staff, or 10 without it, or 10 versus missile weapons. Her movement is 40 because she's not encumbered. Here's her weapons. Quarterstaff, whip, dagger. We have all that filled out. Dagger for throwing, darts. Okay, that's good. We already did that. Here's her abilities. Again, read scrolls, scribe scrolls, sorcery, you know, turn undead. Anybody that wants to play a priest is going to know what those things are, or I can quickly just say what it is. Read scrolls means you can read clerical scrolls. Scribe scrolls means you can write clerical scrolls. You're not going to probably do it in this first adventure. Sorcery means you can cast spells, and of course turn undead means you can turn undead. And then of course mildly insane, during the full moon, acts unrational. The turning ability of 1, and then this is the results of that. No bonus for charisma, unfortunately. No, there wasn't a penalty, right? Let's just make sure. No. No, it was the other character that had a 4 charisma. Okay. Casting ability is 1. 65% to learn new spells. Because of their class, they've got 2 spells per day. Because of their wisdom, they get 1 additional one, so 3 spells per day they can memorize. This is a Vancian system, so you know you got to pre-memorize your spells. They have a choice of 4 spells: Bless, Create Water, Light, and Perceive Disguise, which I think all are pretty self-explanatory, except for Bless, maybe. You know, in play, they can write what spells they're using there. They can put whatever else they want there. Okay, female, 18, 5 foot tall, 130 pounds, redhead, green eyes, distinguished features. Speaks Common language and Pictish. She was a pack handler, and she worships Azathoth. Okay. Here's all of her gear. She's far from encumbered, so she's moving right along, no problem. Even though she's a pack handler, she doesn't need, not carrying that much stuff. So that is our priest. Safe. Okay. And that's about it. I think that was enough character creation for one night. Yeah, if you didn't catch the very beginning and you're jumped in now, we've got the main thing I'm using for this is this PDF here, Waves of the Boreas. As soon as I finish this, which is going to be in about 2 minutes, I will jump onto the event and I will put in the description a link to this and also to Northwind Adventures, where you can get the book for the game itself. If you want to just get the PDFs, obviously you can get that at Drive-Thru-RPG. Including, I believe, the GM screen PDF, which I think is super useful. I made it into a single image, but crazy useful. So I recommend that highly. Let me go over here so I can end this thing for you guys. But thanks for watching, and if you just stumbled upon this and this is the first thing you're seeing, normally this channel I'm mostly just running games, so if you're interested in watching games, I've got 2 kind of regular campaigns going on currently. One is in this system, Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. The other one is in Basic Dungeons and Dragons, Mold Bay Basic, or BX, or OSC, or, yeah, OSC they're calling it now, yeah, so basically it's old school Dungeons and Dragons, if you're interested in that. And then sometimes I'll run some one-shots and other stuff like the Hateful Place, which is a great system. Maybe we'll make some adventures with Hateful Place live at some point, but anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.